Hello and welcome to the Rainy Night Listens podcast. I'm Hailey.
And I'm Wyatt, and this is the podcast that you save for a rainy night instead of a rainy day.
Alrighty, today we are going to be talking about Elmer McCurdy. Have you ever heard of him before?
No, I haven't.
Okay. I was going to be surprised if you had. I heard about him a couple of weeks ago, and when I did, I knew we had to talk about him. He was an outlaw who, after he died, ended up in an insane place that no one would have ever expected. So with that...
All right, I'm going to make my guess now.
All right, what do you think?
He's going to be very, very deep in a cave.
Ooh.
That's my guess.
All right.
That's all I got.
Well, you're wrong.
All right, I'm making another guess then.
Okay.
He was found in the middle of the ocean.
Ooh. You've got some interesting guesses for sure.
That is word for you're stupid and incorrect.
That's hard no. Elmer J. McCurdy was born on January 1st of 1880 in Washington, Maine.
1880?
Yeah, long time ago.
Yeah.
His mother was only 17 when she gave birth to him, and no one knew for sure who his father was. After his birth, he was adopted by his Uncle George and Aunt Helen to help save his young mother, Sadie, from public scrutiny. Not a lot is known about the first 10 years of his life. It is known that once George passed away in 1890, Helen, Sadie, and Elmer packed up and moved to Bangor, Maine. Sometime shortly after this period, Sadie told Elmer that she was actually his mother, and this caused young Elmer to spiral, and he was described as becoming unruly and rebellious.
Wait, what?
So, he didn't know that Sadie was actually his mom.
Oh, okay.
Because he had been adopted by his aunt and
Oh,
uncle.
okay, gotcha.
And
I
so
thought...
then...
I don't know why my brain put it together. Like his aunt said, "Oh, I'm actually your mom," and I'm like,
Oh, no.
What?
Yeah, that's
okay,
fair.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Please continue.
During his teenage years, he picked up his lifelong drinking habit. A couple of years later, he moved in with his grandfather and began working as an apprentice plumber. And in 1898, at the age of 18, he lost his job due to the worsening economy. So if you're thinking things can't possibly get worse for him at this point, you're wrong.
Oh.
Just 2 years later, Sadie passed away from a ruptured ulcer, and 2 months after that, his grandfather passed away. So just terrible thing after terrible thing.
The entire time. Just downhill.
Just so awful. Once these sad events took place, he packed up and decided he was going to move out of Maine. Which, valid.
Yeah, there's a lot of baggage there, I feel like.
Yeah. He didn't seem to really have a direction, so he drifted around the eastern states and worked odd plumbing jobs and also worked as a lead miner. Also probably not great.
Yeah, no, his batting average is not that great at this point. Poor guy.
Due to his problem with alcohol, he was not able to keep a job for a long period of time. After floating around for a few years, he made his way to Kansas, where he mainly worked as a plumber and bounced from place to place. At one point, he moved to Iola, Kansas, but then moved away again in 1905 after being arrested for public intoxication. In 1907, at the age of 27, he joined the Army and was assigned to Fort Leavenworth. During his service, he operated the machine guns and was trained on performing demolitions. And he was officially honorably discharged on November 7th, 1910, at the age of 30.
Oh, so he worked for the military for almost 10 years? Like, not almost 10. It's like 8 or 9 years?
3 years. So
Wait,
he
wow,
joined
my brain
in.
sucks.
No, you're good. He joined in 1907, and then he was honorably discharged in 1910.
Oh. So I thought, yeah, okay, sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Continue.
After being discharged from the Army, Elmer made his way to St. Joseph, Kansas, where he and one of his Army buddies were almost immediately arrested. And when I say almost immediately, again, he was discharged on the 7th, and the arrest was made on the 19th.
It's like less than 2 weeks later.
Yeah. The reason why they were arrested was for possession of chisels, hacksaws, funnels for nitroglycerin, gunpowder, and money sacks. You know.
Oh, you know.
All of the things a dastardly bandit would need in order to commit crimes.
A dastardly bandit. What are you talking about? I just need this for my job. I'm a plumber, okay?
No, I just have the... Well, wait until you hear
plumber.
why he claimed he had them.
Oh.
Because he pleaded not guilty and claimed that he and his friend were simply trying to invent a new type of machine gun for the Army.
Oh, okay.
He was found not guilty.
What? He got away with that?
Yeah, and was released in January of 1911.
That's insane.
Following his release, Elmer fully sprung into a life of crime. Using the training he received in the Army, and more specifically the training he received for using nitroglycerin for demolitions, he began robbing trains and banks.
Hey, you know that guy that had all this stuff to rob a bank and then we let him off because he said he was making a machine gun out of it? Yeah. Hey, he's robbing banks now.
What? Who could have seen this coming? What?
I could not have imagined.
I will say that it was noted a few times that his training was very minimal on using the nitroglycerin. Mm-hmm. And so you'll kind of see that come into play with the robberies.
He's going to blow himself up, isn't he?
We'll see. In March, Elmer McCurdy heard that there was a train traveling through Oklahoma that was supposed to have a safe with around $4,000 in it.
That was a lot of money back then.
It's the equivalent of around $125,000 today.
Holy crap.
So tons of money.
Yeah.
He and a few other men took over the train and got it to stop and located the vault holding the money. He set the nitroglycerin up and then set it off. However, he used too much, and even though he successfully got the safe open, most of the money had been destroyed.
Wow.
Each person walked away with between $100 to $500, which is still the equivalent of around $3,200 to $15,000 today. So it's a lot of money, but not nearly as much as what they could have had.
Yeah.
And from reading this, it sounds like the person who was in charge of the money said it was probably closer to $100, and that he'd be surprised if it was actually more than that what they got.
That's crazy. I'd be so pissed.
Right.
If I accidentally blew up over half my haul.
Can you imagine being like the partners, like the other bandits? You're like, ooh, this guy knows what he's doing. You partner up and then
blow it over. You just see like burning bills flying through
the train car's gone. They're like,
whole train car.
Oh.
Oh no.
Oh no.
That's crazy.
In September of that same year, Elmer, along with two others, attempted a bank robbery on the Citizens Bank in Chautauqua, Kansas. And just so you know, this plan was incredibly well thought out and executed. If you can't tell by the title of this newspaper clipping saying that
$50 and miss $1,000. That is crazy.
They began by spending nearly 2 hours chipping through the wall of the bank with a hammer to reach the room the vault was kept in.
There's no way.
Real quick, though, how did no one hear that happening?
Like, clang!
No one noticed. Just
I'd like to make a deposit. Clang!
Yeah.
Sorry, what? I'd like to make a clang! Sorry, one more time. I'm hard of hearing, I guess. I'd like to make a deposit. Clang!
He's like, man, I need to go get some mercury after this.
Get some mercury.
There's something wrong with my hearing.
I think my hearing's gone. Oh, there are the voices sparking up again, making me think the bank's getting robbed. Clang!
Clang! Once getting through the wall, Elmer then
They got through the wall?
Yeah, dude.
Oh my god.
Elmer then took nitroglycerin.
I had a mouthful of soda when you said that.
You know, the thing he is famously good at using.
Yeah, I'm really good at this stuff. We're gonna freaking hammer through the wall and then nitroglycerin the safe.
He took it and set it around the door leading to the vault.
Mm-hmm.
He set it off and it blew through the vault door, but the safe door was not touched. He quickly attempted to set off nitroglycerin on the safe door, but then it failed to light. And at this point, the lookout man got too scared, so he ran away, leaving just Elmer and the one other person there.
Hey, split it 50-50. That's $500 each.
Heck yeah. They, realizing that they probably had very little time
left,
left,
a couple minutes.
decided to grab the coins that were sitting on a tray in front of the vault, and then they ran. And in total, they got around $50 worth of coins, which is the equivalent of around $1,600 today.
Yeah.
After, reading it, though, I guess that there were a bunch of other coins, but they'd all been, fused to the vault and stuff.
From the heat? Or
Yeah, from
that's
the heat
hilarious.
of the explosion. And so, yeah.
That's nuts. This dude's really good with the nitroglycerin.
Right.
Where do they keep getting nitroglycerin?
I don't know. Apparently it's just readily available, though.
It's readily available to bank robbers.
He just goes and tells people he's going to make a machine gun. And they're like, oh, obviously, yeah, here's nitroglycerin.
My buddy, a town over, who's also, in possession of all these things, also met a guy who's making a machine gun. That's crazy. Here you go. Thanks, bud.
That's bonkers.
Hey, you know that guy oh wait, I'm holding up like there's a phone, but meets him. Hey, you remember that guy who's making a machine gun? Yeah, what about it? Oh, dude, making a machine gun in my town too. Oh, well, my guy robbed a bank. I'm sorry, what?
Excuse me? Clang.
Clang.
Also,
so glad we met in a bank for this. Clang.
Also, really quick as a side note, if you guys have never gone through and just read the titles of old newspaper clippings,
they are nuts.
They are straight up bonkers. Some of them are so crazy.
They're a little
yeah,
over the top.
Beware, they're not very politically correct, I guess I should say, but some of them are just insane.
Hilarious.
So if you're ever bored, just go look up old titles. After committing this crime, the group split up and Elmer traveled to some property near Bartlesville, Oklahoma.
Clang.
Clang! That was owned by one of his friends. While here, he stayed in the hay shed and reportedly drank heavily the whole time he was there.
I would too. I would spend my $50 on alcohol.
Right. During this time, he heard that there was a train that...
Who? I really want to know who, the information guys were back then.
Yeah. Who's just walking around being like,
Hey,
did you hear about this train?
I heard you robbed a bank for $50.
I heard you really know how to set off nitroglycerin.
I heard you're really good with nitroglycerin. There's a bank traveling through 4 towns over. I ain't gonna ask for any money, but just know.
Yeah, I'm not going to ask for a cut of it, but here you go. Here's the
kidding.
information that I have.
I'm hoping that it's just back then when people were trying to make strides in popularity and usefulness, they were announcing it bank opening, we have this much money, stuff like that. But I really feel that could be it, because I feel like they tried to make things very public back then. I mean, Have you read the newspaper article headlines?
Yeah, have you seen some of the headlines they have?
That's my guess. Reward for robbers.
Hey, you're jumping ahead.
Oh, sorry.
God.
Please continue. I was reading.
Look how they spelled Missouri, though. Missiuri.
Missouri.
There you go.
Missouri.
Missouri.
Missouri. Oh, calls us.
Clang!
Clang!
But he heard that there was a train that reportedly was holding around $400,000 cash. That
like,
was,
back then, 400,000
I
cash?
tried finding out how much, like, if it was 400,000 then or 400,000 now.
Equivalent? Yeah.
I'm going to guess that it's the equivalent of $400,000.
Yeah, that would make more sense, because that would be insane.
Yeah. And so it was supposed to be going to the Osage Nation as a royalty payment. So he rounded up 2 others, and then the 3 men set out to rob this train on October 4th.
Told the local goods seller that he's making a machine gun.
Needed
Bought
some
everything.
nitroglycerin.
Made some nitroglycerin, yeah.
And then they laid a very well thought out and executed trap.
I'm starting to not believe you anymore.
And after getting on the train,
Uh-huh.
they
They
realized...
did a good job, right?
Yeah. They do a great job of actually mistakenly holding up a passenger train instead of the one holding the cash.
There's no way. Oh my gosh.
So,
Hey,
because it's the wrong train, they stole around $46 from the mail clerk, some whiskey, 1 revolver,
Hey.
1 coat, and the conductor's watch. And this was eventually called one of the smallest robberies in the history of train robbing.
Imagine being so bad at your job. You literally got the record for, like, worst train robbery. Successfully pulled off, of course.
Yes.
That's crazy. I bet they spent 4.5 hours chipping through the wall of the train car too while they were yeah, with nothing but chisels.
Yeah.
But don't worry, he pulled out the nitroglycerin for a door inside, I'm sure.
Dude, it's so bad.
It's like hitting the wall just next to a glass window. Smashing.
He's like, no one will ever suspect a
They'll
thing
never
here.
know. People are very, very inobservant when it comes to hammers and chisels hitting walls for 2 hours.
Clang! Elmer returned to the hay shed he was staying in on October 6th and began drinking the whiskey he had managed to steal from the train.
He got back, gave his partners all the money, sets down the conductor's watch next to his pile of hay, and just
the new
downs
coat
every
he had.
bottle. wearing like a woman's like feather.
I didn't even think of
It's like the one with like the dead fox for like the shoulders. He's just wearing a woman's. It does not fit. He's like saying like this because the arms are too tight. Just waddles in.
It's like the fat man in a little coat skit. He's just like, alright. Shuffling it.
Looks at the time on his new watch. Downs 4 bottles of whiskey.
Dude, it's so bad.
Oh my
Poor
gosh.
Elmer.
Yeah, poor Elmer. You know, I was going to make a joke. Like, you know what? With how things are going, I might turn to a life of crime. But how things are going, maybe I won't.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe don't.
Maybe I won't learn how to
'Cause-
use nitroglycerin or make machine guns.
Yeah. Because it really takes a turn for the worse here in the next 2 sentences.
I was going to say, I know how to use a hammer and chisel at least, so
Oh, well,
that'll
hey,
get me somewhere, I'm sure.
I think you're ahead of all of these people.
The game.
Yeah. Between the time the robbery had taken place on the 4th and his return to the hay shed on the 6th, there was a reward put out for his capture. So on the morning of October 7th, 3 deputy sheriffs used bloodhounds to track Elmer to the hay shed where they surrounded him.
They honestly should have just, like, put the reward up for, like, $50.
Yeah, maybe he would have shown up and just tried to
He
steal
would
it.
have just turned himself in.
They would have heard him chiseling through the back wall.
chisels through the wall into the main, area, the main door. Like, there's a door right here. He went around the corner, chisels through the wall for 3 hours, and then turns himself in for the reward.
Oh my gosh.
Keep in mind, there are windows. He's avoiding the windows.
Don't go in the windows. That's where they'll expect you to come
That's
in.
where they expect. They won't believe I'm the real me if I walk through the front door.
The only way to prove I am who I am is if I use a hammer and chisel to get through the wall and then set nitroglycerin off on the vault and destroy all the money.
It's the only way.
It's the only way to prove it. That and my very small fur coat.
He just walks in with his arms, stuck straight up in his sides. Oh my gosh.
Oh my.
I've come for my bounty.
He walks away with $5.
We handed him $50, and he blew up 45 of it for no reason.
He just lit it up, right?
He just lit it up. At this point, I don't even get it. We just let him leave. We didn't even arrest him. He's a danger to himself more than he is us at this point.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
He just blew it up.
My stomach hurts. That's fine.
He threw it in his bag where the nitroglycerin was, and it just exploded. Oh my gosh.
They claimed that around 7 a.m. that morning, Elmer McCurdy fired a shot at one of them before turning and firing 3 more times at the second sheriff. Neither of them were injured, and so they were able to take cover. And the shootout took place for the next hour, where both sides were continually shooting at one another.
How much ammo did he have in his little Haitian?
Apparently a lot, because, yeah, it lasted for an hour. At some point, one of the sheriffs hit Elmer in the chest while he was laying on the ground and killed him.
Dang. That poor guy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to die in a woman's coat. He never took it off.
He never.
He was so proud of it.
Yeah.
It was
And
worth
the
$3. And the conductor's watch, yeah.
Now, one would think this is where the story of Elmer McCurdy ends. But it ain't!
But it ain't?
And with that, it is time
Oh my gosh.
for Hagen's historical word of the day! Hagen! 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 Hagen!
Shift.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Shift.
I thought he was just going to swear at us.
I thought he was sick of us just making jokes the whole time.
Yeah. We got one more, I guess.
Yeah.
Before he does.
Got one more joke. I put this warning in.
If anybody's not watching, but instead listening, it says, warning, embalmed body on next slides.
Yes. So if you're just listening, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But if you're watching, I just wanted to throw this out so that you guys know that the next slides do contain an embalmed body. So if you're not into that, either just turn whatever you're watching it on upside down so you don't have to watch it, or
Or if you want to see it, then,
yeah,
just
then
watch it.
then just don't change anything.
Yeah.
So I'm
Just
gonna
know
change
you
it.
you have been warned. This is a warning. Very clear as day warning.
3, 2,
7,
1.
6.
Okay, I'm changing the slide now. The sheriffs took his body to an undertaker where it was preserved, shaved, cleaned, and dressed in a suit.
They actually did a really good job.
Yeah, like it still looks like a normal dude.
Yeah, it looks like they just took a picture of him laying in a coffin.
Yeah. The undertaker refused to bury him because no one had come forward to claim him, and he didn't want to do even more work without being paid for it.
Dang.
After some time, the undertaker took him out of the suit and instead dressed him in normal everyday clothing and stood a rifle up in his coffin next to him before putting him on display in the main area of the funeral home, where he would charge people 1 nickel to see the bandit who wouldn't give up.
That's crazy. You know
Yeah.
what? They respected him for his efforts.
Something like that. Something like that.
It's kind of messed up they didn't give him his coat, though.
Honestly, and his watch is gone, so
Yeah, I bet you the Undertaker nabbed his watch.
probably.
I don't know, man, I wouldn't give up. I ain't giving up either. This don't pay the bills.
Throughout the next 5 years, he would be given other names, including the Mystery Man of many aliases, the Oklahoma Outlaw, the Embalmed Bandit, and finally landing on just the Bandit.
The Bandit.
On October 6th, 1916, a man came forward claiming to be the long-lost brother of Elmer McCurdy.
That's not real.
Come on, you think something weird would have gone on back then? Well, you're right.
I didn't even get an answer.
He took possession of Elmer's corpse and shipped it to Arkansas City, Kansas. Arkansas City, Kansas.
Kansas.
Where he became part of a traveling carnival called the Great Patterson Carnival Show.
You're telling me a carnival, like, ringmaster just showed up? Ah, yes, my brother, John the Bandit. I'm Joseph the Bandit. That's my brother. Oh, well, that's good. I'm only making nickels, I guess. You can have
Why
them.
is your old-timey, like, swindler voice so good? I'm his brother, Jean the Bandit.
The Bandit. Even, like, twirling his mustache.
He, like, kind of walked like he was doing the creep the whole time.
Yeah, literally, like a strong man. Always think like dumbbell walks in, hoists his coffin up, and puts it literally on like a traveling circus carriage labeled like
Dude.
so and so circus of curiosities.
Yeah.
Hi-ya! And then right off.
It's so insane.
I'm starting to think that was not Joseph the Bandit.
I'm starting to think his last name was not the Bandit.
Oh my god.
At this carnival show, they had him featured as the outlaw who would never be captured alive until 1922.
Wow. Yeah, that's a while.
Yeah.
This body is he just does not
He's
get
now,
to sleep.
his body's now 11 years old.
Whoever embalmed him did a good friggin' job, I guess.
Yeah, the Undertaker knew what he was doing, apparently.
Yeah, I would have charged dimes instead of nickels.
Mm-hmm. It was then that the carnival show was sold to someone else, and the new owner decided to use Elmer McCurdy in his traveling museum of crime. The museum used wax replicas of famous outlaws.
Except Elmer McCurdy.
And the actual body of Elmer McCurdy. This went on until 1933, when Elmer was then used to promote a film called Narcotic. They placed him in different lobbies of theaters and named him the Dead Dope Fiend, and told everyone he had taken his own life while surrounded by officers in a drugstore he was robbing, and he was used this way all the way until 1949.
Oh my gosh! 16 years of being the dead dope fiend? Dead dope fiend?
Yep.
I would... never mind.
Yeah. At this point, you're probably wondering what the condition of his body was after around 38 years of being on display. He had reportedly mummified at this point, which had caused his skin to become very tight and shriveled. And because of this, his body had also shrunken a little bit. And that was part of what they used to sell him as being a dope addict for their film was, look at him. Look at how,
They
like,
put a rope around
clearly
his
he
neck.
was an addict.
They put a rope around his neck. They put a rope around the dead dope addict's neck. Why is his tooth chipped?
You know.
Was his tooth chipped before? Oh.
Between 1949 and 1964, Elmer was kept in a storage facility in Los Angeles. He was then used as a prop in a movie called She Freak in 1967, before being sold as part of a wax collection to the Hollywood Wax Museum in 1968. While here, he was put on loan for a show going on at Mount Rushmore, where, due to high winds, the tips of his ears along with some fingers and toes blew off.
I'd just like to point out at this point, his corpse has been kept alive longer than he himself was alive. Right? Like,
yeah, because he died in like his mid to late 30s.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
It's been like...
Yeah.
That is not okay at all.
No, it's insane. He was then deemed too gruesome to be displayed anymore.
Oh, I'm sure. Hey, fun fact, he wasn't made out of wax at any point.
Yeah, fun fact, he's an actual human being.
That was a corpse.
Yeah.
That was just a corpse.
So he was sold to the owner of an amusement zone in Long Beach, California,
gosh.
known as the Pike.
If you tell me it's like down the road at the Museum of Extravagant Curiosities today, I'd be like, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
It's also just a skeleton with no arms, no legs, and no head. It's just the torso. Like,
yeah.
in 2020...
In 2026...
I actually bought his remains.
They are here now in the house.
They're in the corner. I don't know how you didn't see it.
I don't know why
I've
you
had them in
didn't
a glass
see 'em over
case
there.
titled "The Meth Psychopath Who Rode an Elephant into a Village and Killed the Sheriff."
Yeah.
The name just keeps getting longer. I don't know, man.
Dude. It's insane.
It is. This poor guy.
On December 8th of 1976, the film crew for the TV show The $6 Million Man was filming a scene in the Laugh in the Dark funhouse at the Pike. A set worker who was working on moving some of the props around so that they could get a better shot reached up to move one of the wax mannequins that was hanging from a gallows out of the way.
Is that why there's a noose around his neck?
But when he pulled on the arm, it broke off. It took him a few seconds to realize that the arm he had pulled off had muscle tissue and bones sticking out, and he could see the matching parts on the body of the hanging figure.
Oh my gosh.
The police were called, and they took the body to a coroner who performed an autopsy on him. Because at this point...
There ain't nothing to gain.
At this point, they didn't know who this was. It had been so long that he had been forgotten about in this funhouse until this poor prop guy was moving stuff around for the scene they were shooting in a TV show and freaking broke the arm off of him.
That's insane. That dude, that Undertaker, he had better be getting paid the big bucks.
Yeah.
The fact that this thing is still semi put together at this point is insane.
Yeah. So they discovered that the corpse was completely petrified and weighed only around 50 pounds. It had been covered in multiple layers of wax and had been painted multiple times. And they found that the corpse had a gunshot wound to its chest. And even though the bullet wasn't present, the casing was found and was determined to have been the kind that was used between 1905 and 1940. They also found the original incisions from an autopsy and an embalming procedure that had taken place at some point. And they found the embalming fluid that had been used had arsenic in it, which was a practice that stopped in the late 1920s.
Oh my gosh.
And so at this point, they're kind of figuring out, like, okay, so this body is older than the late 1920s. Like, we know that for sure. Like,
this
we know
body's
that
older than
this has been
half
here
the set
for
workers.
a long time. So they remove, like, his jaw, to see if they could do a dental analysis to determine who this was. And when they did that, they found a 1924 penny that had been shoved into his mouth, along with multiple ticket stubs to the Traveling Museum of Crime.
Oh my gosh.
Once they discovered these ticket stubs, they
realized.
got a hold of a person who was related to the person who owned the Museum of Crime. And that person said, yeah, I think that was some guy named Elmer McCurdy that they used. And so they were able to positively identify the remains as those of Elmer McCurdy.
That's insane. That is absolutely... Oh, they finally buried him?
Yep. So on April 22nd...
1977?
1977, almost 66 years after his death in 1911, Elmer McCurdy was buried in Oklahoma. His service was attended by more than 300 people, and to make sure that his body would never be stolen and never be put on display again, they poured 2 feet of concrete on top of his casket when he was buried.
You know what? Good for them. It's a little too little, way too late, but you know what? The try for respect is there, and that's fair.
Yep.
That is absolutely insane.
The whole thing is insane from start to finish.
It's never not insane. That is nuts. What the heck?
He was on display for like almost 66 years after he had died. To the point that people had forgotten that he was part of... Like, how many people went to the Laugh in the Dark Funhouse and were like, oh, wow, look at that guy hanging up there. And it was Elmer McCurdy. It was a real person.
Who's the sick monster who coated him in wax multiple times? Like, multiple coats of wax. Which he was in a wax museum, and he was in a different thing, and then now he's a wax figure again. So they just kept coating a corpse in wax.
Yeah, kept painting him, kept doing all of that.
That's disgusting.
But yeah.
Man, this wax figure sure does stay together way better than all of the other wax figures. If you pull on this one's arm, it snaps. It doesn't, grossly like goop and tear. It snapped. Oh, there's a bone in there. Okay.
Oh, all right.
Clang!
I just kept on hearing what sounded like a hammer and chisel on the walls at
This
night.
is Ghost.
Trying to get his body to be laid to rest.
That's what I was going to say earlier when I said never mind. I was going to say, man, I'd just pull Michael Afton and possess my own corpse.
It's so insane.
That is not okay at all.
Nope. But yeah, there was the life and afterlife of Elmer McCurdy for you.
That is insane. That dude is owed so much money at this point.
Yeah.
His family is his brother Joseph the Bandit. Whoever his descendants are in for a lot of money right now.
Joseph the Bandit.
The Bandit.
But he was finally laid to rest. So hopefully now he can rest in peace.
Wait, in Oklahoma.
Yep.
Guthrie, Oklahoma. Man, that'd be a cool grave to visit.
Right.
Poor guy.
But yeah, that is all for me. And that is all on Elmer McCurdy.
Wow.
Let us know what your guys' thoughts are on this. And until next time.
Bye.
Bye.